Can I ask Patricia, how do you enter the business? And what is that one lesson you can say we can pick from the fact that you entered the business?
Trying to see where to start, because we have the official beginning of Nina Interiors and the unofficial one. But my mom has always had that need to put food on the table and has done one side hustle after another. And one of the earliest things she did was to bake buns and sell in her office, sometimes cakes. And I think that was my first job, to baste the tray or to clean up, help her in the kitchen. And we would get paid. The pay was you are allowed to lick the cake. Yeah, it was pay. Otherwise, it was really lovely. The other pay was you would get one bun. So that, I think, really was a job, and that's how I entered the enterprise of Mrs. Alice Karugaba, which eventually became Nina Interiors. She then started Nina Limited, a grocery shop in Wandegea, and there she would pick me up from school and take me with her to the shop. Why? Because in those days, people used to walk home, children used to walk home, and we lived in Nakasero. I was in Kitante Primary School, and there was that big road, Kitante Road. I couldn't cross it. I was so afraid of crossing the road, and so many children were being knocked down. She was equally afraid of my crossing the road. So she would tell me, you walk from school and wait under the big tree. You see that Mulago roundabout around CMI, it has a big tree. It was there 50 years ago, that big tree. So I would sit under the big tree, and she would come from office and pick me up. Instead of going back home, I would follow her to work. And because she's a Muchiga and doesn't allow people to be idle, I had to work. I was there P3, P4 around that time. And my job was to measure sugar, measure Vaseline. There was no Vaseline. Blue Seal was not there. You'd buy a drum of petroleum jelly, and then we would measure it and put it in small buveras and tie the head. So I needed to measure sugar, 1 kilo, half kilo. Those were easy, but there was also quarter kilo. And there I know I either cheated the customer or I cheated my mom. That quarter kilo was very difficult to measure. So that was primary. My mom had this thing of everybody did work to earn a living. I don't know if she really wanted us to earn a living or she didn't want us to ask her for money all the time. So all my siblings, every vacation, they had a job. My brother taught at kindergarten. My sister made popcorn and chocolate. But when my turn came, she had started Nina Interiors. So I joined Nina Interiors. At that point, my first salary was 20,000 shillings. And it's there that I learned the value of money. And I learned that when you work, you get money, and that money elevates you. Because when I went to Gayaza High School, after my S4 VAC, I had pocket money that made me roll with kids of wealthy people. It was a status symbol to drink soda, to buy soda from the canteen. And I could roll with those girls and buy soda, but we were not from a wealthy family. It was only because I had a salary during holiday. So I learned that I worked during holiday. And of course, then having tested that when you work with mom, you earn, it became obvious. Essex, every holiday, I wouldn't even wait for vacation, every holiday, you had a choice. You could stay home and do housework, or you could go and work at Nina Interiors. Tell me, which one would you do? Yeah, I'm officially allergic to housework, so you know what I did. So from holiday to holiday, Nina Interiors became part of me. Going through and preparing for this, I wondered how life would have been. It just became so normal. It's something you do. I guess in olden times, if you came from a family of hunters, you just go and hunt. If you come from a family of blacksmiths, you go and do whatever blacksmiths do. So that became my life story. It might be a bit different for my siblings, but for me, it just became a natural and very normal thing to do. I had a chance to leave. I was offered a position as a, what do they call them, executive assistant of someone who had come to set up the Japanese embassy. It was tickling. He was interested in me because I had furnished his house. He liked the way I addressed him and all that, and the way I did my work. And I had done political science at the university, and I had done a course in diplomacy. So I was perfect for the job. But I didn't take the job. I didn't even discuss it with my mom. Do you know why I didn't take the job? Because my understanding of what I was going to do for him was that I was going to type his letters. And based on how strict my mom was about the letters I write, I was not good enough at punctuation. So based on that, I'm like, let me stay selling curtains. That one doesn't need commas and full stops. Yeah, and then my next attempt to leave, it was a case of burnout. And I was like, let me go and do my own thing. I like reading, I like writing, let me do a bookshop. It didn't work out, and anyway, Mommy was like just waiting for me to come. I was the prodigal who she knew, you're going to come, but I'm waiting for you. So I came back. His sojourn took 13 years. I think mine didn't, might have taken, not even 13 months. I don't remember how long, but I came back very quickly. I got broke very quickly. Yes, and so what has my lesson been joining the family business? Like I said, for me, it is second nature. It might not be the same for my siblings, but I learned so much from my mom. I don't know if other people have an opportunity to learn from their bosses. Of course, at the time that I was learning, I didn't think that I was learning. I just thought she was being bossy, but it was really good. The one thing that I've learned is the importance of keeping your promises to your customers, keeping your promises to your suppliers, keeping your promises to stakeholders like the banks. Nina Interiors was able to grow because of bank facilities that we got. We had overdrafts. We just had to keep our promise on the payments that we'll make. We've grown on supplier credit because we've always kept promises. On one of the earlier journeys that I went with her, we went to Dubai. And everywhere we went, as she would walk by, they would call her, Nina, Nina. And she told me, I have built my name because I keep my promises. You have to keep your promises. That's what I've learned from her.